complements, Hubbards, and Grenada Paper Products, manufacturers of Royal, Horizon, and Quick and Easy paper towels and napkins.
Hubbards is giving away loads of prizes with Live Free for 1 year 3.0. Same promotion, more prizes to be won. Spend $50 or more at any Hubbards department and receive a chance to win big every 2 weeks. Win! Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Cash savings account from the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited. Free electricity for 1 year. Free Coca-Cola for 1 year. Free property insurance for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Free lunch packages from the Creative Chef. 1 free gas cooker. Free internet and cable for 1 year. And free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 28 to September 16, 2022. Live Free for 1 year 3.0 is brought to you in part by Chief Brand Products, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Carib Breweries, Danny, Flow, Creative Chef, Grenlex, Supreme Bleach, Promos, Sol, Dutch Lady, Coca-Cola Grenada Bottling Company, Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, and the Food Fair Supermarket. Terms and conditions apply.
They are the few, the strong, the elite. Grenada, get ready as our sporting gladiators go for gold and glory at the World Championships. Follow every throw, stride and jump from July 15th to the 24th. Capture the action daily on GBN television. It's the World Championships. The dream continues.
James is going to win it.
WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
If there was ever a time to keep and stay healthy, it's now! We at Hills and Valley are here to help you take deliberate steps to maintain your health. We stayed true to maintaining the most comprehensive rates while stocking the widest range of medicines and health devices, including personal protective equipment. There are so many benefits shopping with us. You get great savings through discounts for senior citizens and reward cards for loyal customers. Ask about owning yours today. Visit us at Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George, Jubilee Street opposite the Grenville Bus Terminal, and at Hillsborough, Carriacou. Our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street also stocks the widest range of pharmaceuticals. We are with you on the hills and in the valleys. We are Hills and Valley Pharmacy.
You know, one day I woke up and, you know, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. You know, nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You know you're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue on your journey.
This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Kindly greasy pole, and we don't dance round the maypole. Kindly greasy pole, and we don't dance round the maypole. Kindly greasy pole, and we don't dance round the maypole.
They are the few, the strong, the elite. Grenada, get ready as our sporting gladiators go for gold and glory at the World Championships. Follow every throw, stride and jump from July 15th to the 24th. Capture the action daily on GBN Television. It's the World Championships. The dream continues.
James is going to win it.
Kindly greasy pole, and we don't dance round the maypole.
Good evening once again, and welcome to We Culture. Well, it's good to be back after a little 2-week break, of course, with all the excitement of elections and all of that. We were off for 2 weeks, and so we're back this evening, and we're ready to go. Well, Doc is with me early tonight, so we going. It's already late. Doc, how are you doing?
Well, we're good. What can I say? Have a new moment in Grenada, but
yes, indeed.
Culture with We Culture, and as usual, our intention is to keep people grounded, particularly those persons in the diaspora, where I'm told always looking forward to hear and to get a glimpse, a greater glimpse of Grenada and to reminisce. So we are there with them, and hopefully we'll continue solving that problem once we are.
Yes, indeed. And of course, in addition to all of that, in all the excitement, we had a little threat of some weather. I remember the afternoon, people were crazy in the supermarkets, as usual when you hear a little something. So there was a double excitement, election and tropical wave and all of that. So yes, indeed. Well, Finley has joined us. What's up, partner?
Are they watching? Who polite?
All right.
Polite. I mean, are they halfway in, halfway out? As you know, and you are man, you're like man. Take thing on your program or me embarrass you.
Yeah, but you will wait until the end because I will mute you. I can't be biased. I can tell Doc wait until the end and you just doing what you want. You want Doc and run him out and mean Grenville and say how can I take out?
Let me ask you a question. This We Culture sponsor?
Yes, of course.
Who is the sponsor?
We have a number of sponsors.
How about this one of them?
Not because Hubbard's mark up big on your tent. Bro, listen to me. Hello. Me, I know why you come arguing with me about, you know. I don't know what you come arguing with me about. Alright? Tonight, we're reviewing election, and before we go, we want to hear all about Kaiso Bad's and Kaiso Bad's lunch. So we go set aside a whole 15 minutes for that.
No, but that's the problem, you know, because right now, all the boys, we are seeing up there. And at some point in time, I have to leave and come back. But in any case, you're talking about election, so don't worry, you don't give me no forward with me. But I don't think nothing. That is
you getting you forward, man.
Well, now, one day the transformation will come again in transformation sweep in the place, you know. So you will sweep the place with culture. A wind that change will blow. Well, listen, the wind that change start blowing already, you know. When that wind that change blow, I will be able to say what I want, advertise what I want, that go advertise what you want. Yeah. In front of me, behind the wind that change. That's when you have your own we culture and you have your own wind that change. But at the same time, my brother, we're moving into the whole thing. This battle is symbolic, you see, because you have a green battle, but watch it out. Yeah, a very symbolic battle. So let the discussion begin.
Well, of course, and we starting with you.
No, I don't start with me.
No, you listen. No, we have to start with you. You initiated. No, man, you initiated. We started with you. Give Doc a rest. Let Doc take a look. Doc still tired, eh? Doc still tired. So let Doc take a look at breathe. Doc, what you say? You with me on that, right? Doc tired. Doc tired. Let Doc take a little break still. You go, and then we go bring in Doc.
Well, I would say that I agree. I must have initiated it. Well, I initiated, but Doc initiated it, you know. So, well, ask the question and let's boot out.
No,
I believe we should. There's some moments. I
think first of all, maybe Doc. First of all, I think it's proper that we extend congratulations to the new Prime Minister and the National Democratic Congress on their victory. I think it was a victory that they worked hard for, and so congratulations are in order. You know, so I think that's the way to start.
Well, also, Godfrey, I wonder if we say hello to all our listeners outside, our fans. Good night, everybody, all those listening to We Culture. And every now and then we lose some kind of respect, you know. The team, you can hold us down, particularly when I'm surrounded by these two guys in red or pink or whatsoever. We kind of lose our respect sometimes. But I mean, just saying hello to everyone, and we are here again. Now we can go into the meat of things.
Yes. Well, let me tell you, I don't think our listeners would mind, you know, because I think a lot of people are all geared up, and I think a lot of people want to also do the same, extend their congratulations and all of that, you know, because I think there's a lot of excitement. You could still see that excitement flowing from people. So definitely, I mean, on my way down this evening, a gentleman stopped, you know, and he was all excited and, you know, chatting and everything like that. So I think it's still there. People are still basking in it, and I don't think they would mind at all. Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Well. Let me then kick the ball rolling and say that it was the outcome. Yeah, plenty people would tell you after the fact that they expected it. You know, there. Plenty people will tell you that, and they will start piecing together all the analysis that they did and so on, and not where you lighting, but you know it is. Man have to pick up himself and beat the chest and so on. I don't think that, let's say 3 weeks out, people would have been thinking that realistically that we would have an opposition, that NDC would get some seats and there would be an opposition. That was the realistic thinking.
I agree.
In a lot of people's head, right? But there was a wave. You could have felt that there was a wave, there was a spirit, there was just, according to you, the wind. And NDC was always picking up momentum. And I don't think that NMP had a good campaign whatsoever. No. There were too many errors. It was an error-filled campaign, even in terms of, and we spoke about some of them, and those that actually made memes and so on. Men talking all kind of out of the way things. And I think what we found happening was that, you see, the town halls and the way NDC would have carried out and conducted their business. NMP was booking on hype, and the dance and the bringing out the optics there, the optics of the whole thing was unrealistic thinking.
Yeah. Go ahead. Right. I got that started on it.
And while NDC stuck to the guns, they had some rallies that were different. They had not rallies that were different, but meetings that were different that we never saw before, where men speak and then after men speak, you have people from the audience coming and ask questions and fellas taking questions. All the representatives the people who are representing the different constituencies taking question. And that was something I think that ran deep. So deep that after some time, I think the NNP would have figured to themselves that it's an effective thing. So right up on the last, they had something called Speak to the Dark or something. And why people made a mockery of it. But all in all, what we saw was a coming together of a set of dynamics. And areas that NNP actually won in recent times and in past elections, they lost in flying colors. And the first thing they lose was in the poster competition. I mean, it was, and NNP never loses that. I mean, NDC can't never have ever been able to match up with them, right? Well, don't talk about the propaganda, the Facebook, the social media, everything just basically fell into place for them. You see, so there would be a lot of soul searching. I think the opposition leader that would be calling, yes, Sam hinted to it that there would be a lot of soul searching when this whole thing is, and they would have to build from it. But what I can say is that this election, and I let that come in, but this election is the election in all the years that there has been election, and probably because there is this social media, and social media was able, especially on the NDC side, was able to take everything and just dissect it and make talking points out of them, sound bites out of them. Before somebody in a rally opened their mouth, it became a soundbite and so on. And it is the election, I think, that provided Grenadians with the most entertainment ever. I mean, we were thoroughly entertained. And honestly, we ain't Mongol Carnival this year. Oh, we ain't Mongol Carnival. I mean, we get Carnival for this year, we get Carnival for 2020 when we didn't have, and for 2021 when we didn't have. We ain't missing nothing. We provided everything that this really is.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Doc, well, come in now.
Well, let me just say, I think I want to comment both sides, both the NDC and the NNP, in terms of what I would call having a relatively peaceful campaign. And I think as a people, we must be proud of that. I remember going to an NDC rally. I was driving and my vehicle had some yellow paraphernalia on it. And I ended up getting stuck in traffic because the NNP rally, the transport was going to an NNP rally in the opposite direction. And I blow and they responded and who called me, all this, etc. And guys, irrespective of what some people may think, I believe that is something we should be really proud of as a people. That we are still able to exchange pleasantries, even when we go into our various respective rallies. So I to me that stood out. That in Grenada we are still able to do that. I cannot say what happened in the other islands. I hope it's something similar. But I thought that this.
As a matter of fact, people from opposing parties didn't fight. Is men are supporting the same party at
Wasn't the same party that fight?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's okay. That interjection is good. So I thought that that was really good. Scholar, you made something in terms of. I also thought that NNP ran a very lousy campaign. Unlike they put the machinery, I didn't think they had that. But I also believe that NDC, officially and unofficially, had a lot of groundswell, ground support, people from all walks of life. And the typical NNP, which would come out and humiliate, for example, when they made certain things about Tillman or Nazim, immediately, and Scholar, you alluded to that other thing, when you make something about Deaton, immediately either Deaton himself, some politician, or somebody on Facebook would immediately lash out and use whatsoever they say against them. And so that biting, that thing they used to have to kind of keep NDC leaders in position, this time it did not work. And the heavy drilling, it was really a campaign between NDC trying to have what I call the hype, and NDC having a message, and NDC stuck to the message. Stuck to the message. For a matter of fact, they stuck to the message, some of them at length. And you find that you look on the other side and to hear something of substance. And you reach a point, Godfrey, when they start to respond, NDP actually started to respond, and they started to sound as if they were campaigning, as if they were in opposition. And that didn't really work for them. That really didn't work for them. So eventually they end up coming back to what they usually know, which is, trying to create hype, etc. But I believe the campaign was run between one substance and hype. And people decided how to choose a future. And as some people may say, if you want to go the other way, or a dream of a future, and on the other hand, Mamadism. So I think in both camps, that was what was taking place. But I also believe that there was some for me, and I would like to more concentrate on that rather than do the hard political analysis on that program. I would like to look at some moments out across some wow moments in the campaign. And when I talk about wow moments, I talk about probably one with Pamela. That was one of those, Pamela Moses. Or with, probably the rise of somebody like Lacrette, who somebody never knew. Or maybe Andy, the kind of, some moments that transform the campaign, that leave this really strong image in the minds of some people. Or Bello. I mean, Bello had a speech I thought was such a classic one. But I'm just saying that there are some moments that crystallizes, that stayed in the minds of persons. And even this lady, where NDC was able to turn this young lady, maybe not somebody of any serious seniority in the NNP, but what she mentioned about ice cream and cake, I mean, he was not really a serious member in party, but NDC was able to use that ice cream and cake to crystallize a kind of concept and say that is what NNP is really offering. And it worked. And then we look at not just the social media where they won, but also it was like a soca monarch. I mean, we had some classic music emerging from that campaign, and I thought that was how do you get the artists, those are the writers, to come up with some, they were able to crystallize the concept so clearly, and I thought that was really, really a stroke of genius. But I don't want to say everything now, so we could keep it moving. But I mean, that was some of my observation in this last campaign. It was a very historic one, 8 months, and that is the result.
Yes, indeed. I'll tell you one of the moments that I thought NDC really did a fantastic job, and actually it probably was one of the main piece of advertising that they used. In fact, it was a paid advertisement where I think there was a moment when I think the former Prime Minister compared the teams.
Yeah.
And the NDC was able to take that, craft it nicely. And what was beautiful was at the end of it, when Deacon Mitchell came in to say, look, I am Deacon Mitchell, I endorse that message. And I think that piece of work was brilliant. And it really worked. It really worked. Clearly, the NNP was outclassed when this with the social media. And this is a fantastic job. And I think too, although the the young blood that came in. I mean, those guys, people like the Orlando and so. I mean, those guys are excellent with the computers and the technology, and so they were able to use that to their advantage and really make it work for their party. So I also agree that the campaign was a wonderful one in that it was more antics than confusion. I don't think there was confusion, but rather antics. People saying things, making mistakes. You mentioned Pamela. I mean, and they were on both sides, you know, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of laughter. I didn't go to the rallies. I was able to sit at home and switch because of course social media, and I mean there were some really wonderful moments, you know. So at the end of it, I think NDC ran a better campaign, and it paid off. It worked for them. It definitely worked. So, you know, congratulations. And, you know, following that, let me say that I think the new Prime Minister had, you know, he started off on a bang, you know, making two major pronouncements. And you know, once that can be maintained throughout, I believe, you know, we're looking at, in the first instance, 2 terms. I mean, we never know. But I'm saying if that continues, in the first instance, I think definitely we're looking at 2 terms. So, Finley, yeah.
Well, there's one thing that felt for me that I must mention, Godfrey and Livingston, because it's the first time I've seen that. And as a matter of fact, when I saw this, I was convinced. Now, the Sunday before the election, with the rally and so on, so NDC had the motorcade thing and what. So I was coming out from St. George's, and when I reached in St. David's, how do you call it? Pursuit that staying there again?
Bellevue. The motorcade meet me there. But that kind of passed me right there. And right in Bellevue, the motorcade meet. And when I see vehicles start to come, you know, I start to get excited. I watch vehicles coming, who passing slow, who passing fast. And I looked at vehicles for about an hour and a half. And there was a lull. So when the lull came, I said, well, all right, that's it. And I mean, I was satisfied that there is a big motorcade because I saw the lull, and I go to jump in my little van to take out. Same time, a partner of mine called me, and so I find hearing music where he is. So I say, Papa, you doing down in the park there already? Man, tell me now about the motorcade. The motorcade, and I don't see you pass. Man, see you pass. Boy, you're in paradise. I said, what the hell is that? I said, Pastor, you could be in paradise and I see all these people pass. And the motorcade pass already?
I said, motorcade pass already. The man tell me in paradise. So I said, what? Buy all that. The man tell me, what's wrong with you, boy? A man just called me there and tell me they didn't have me teach you.
It is the same motorcade?
I just come out in the little van and I stand up back there, and then vehicles start. As I watch vehicles passing for another 2 hours. 2 hours without stop, constantly. Well, some people couldn't go down in the main road, so they fly up in the back by Pursuit and in the back there. About that, boy. I don't know, I find out about 1 million people. Then I get tired, and that was when I figured to myself, but no, there's something up, because remember, NNP had Morgan Heritage down the road there, and they had nothing. So that was when I felt something was up. I am positive that when the rally was finished in St. David's, it still had people in the motorcade coming. Some people never make the rally.
But the rally finished late, you know.
I tell you, some people
the rally finished late, yeah.
Really?
People never make the rally. Because the time I'm telling you about this, when a man tell me that time the rally started already. And the man in paradise.
Yeah, because I remember I recall that. In fact, I was looking at it, little bits of the motorcade, and I was listening to the NNP rally, and I remembered the NNP rally finished maybe about, I would say, minutes to 10, thereabout 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And when I switch. Deacon didn't speak. Deacon wasn't speaking yet.
He didn't come on yet.
So and then I think they had a little performance after. So I think maybe that particular rally probably finished about minutes to 12, Doc.
Yeah, just after 11.
After 11, yeah. So
most persons will say they reach home after 1, 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
But let me also highlight something that that happened. Now, because of what I was involved in, I actually received a call from somebody from the NNP, high ranking in the NNP. And what they were saying, well, we have the motorcade, and apparently let us see how we could collaborate. So now we got the permission from the police. The NNP got the permission from the police also. But in this instance, we decided, well, I got a call from them, so I don't know if, I wouldn't want to call the person's name, I don't know if it would be okay, but I
you don't need to, yeah.
I got a call from this person, high ranking in the NNP, that basically I was responsible for the NNP motorcade. And Godfrey, I can tell you, the person and I, we sat down, we communicated with each other, and we plan the route, and you see, if you live in that time, we could live that time. If you go in that route, you could go in that route. And again, I just wanted to say to this public, I believe that it's such a civil way, such a mature way to operate, that we, both parties, we're competing. But even without the presence of the police, we decided that we wanted to avoid the extra traffic. So example, like NNP was having a rally down in the stadium, and our motorcade was, of course, in Afterjet. So instead of going by the stadium, we diverted our traffic to Bolio, going to Willie, so to avoid that heavy traffic. So I think it really as if we, as a people, and we could take note, all of us could take note. But we could have our differences, but we don't have to fight because there are differences. Could sit down sometime and chat it out and see how we could all reason for the good of everybody. And I believe because of that, while we diverted to Willis, some of the NNP persons, the traffic, they diverted to over the Granitan, so we decided we would clear the Granitan. So I thought that I really like the atmosphere that pervaded. Of course, you have little hiccups here and there, but by and large, I really like that atmosphere.
Right. So let's take the break quickly, and we're going to come back. So stay with us, folks. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via Superb Service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
When a loved one passes on, we all need the comfort, support, and guidance of a trusted friend. You can rely on LaCour Brothers Funeral Home. We provide a personalized professional service that exceeds all expectations. Our dedicated staff responds to your every need with the greatest detail, ensuring affordability with a variety of options. Our upgraded state-of-the-art facilities, spacious air-conditioned chapel with live internet streaming, a modern, environmentally safe crematorium, the only of its kind on island. Private viewing spaces, large on-site repast center, a modern transportation fleet. Join our burial society today and make personalized arrangements for that final moment as you prepare to enter your loved one into eternal rest. Visit or call LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and select a package that brings added comfort to the entire family. LaCour Brothers Funeral Home and Burial Society, continuing a tradition of excellence.
The exciting, dramatic, humorous, and mind-captivating Lions All Mass is back in 2022. The Lions Club of St. George's and Spice Mass Corporation brings you an evening of comedy, fun, laughter, and pick-on at the Grenada Youth Center on Sunday, July 17th from 3 p.m. Tickets are available from any member of the St. George's Lions Club, Spice Mass Office, Grenadian Optical, Clear Vision, and Gittins Pharmacy. Grand Dance. Admission adults $25. Children 12 and under, pay $12. Come relieve your stress through laughter and be prepared to be entertained by local calypso and soca artists. This is an evening you don't want to miss. The Lions and Spice Mass Corporation All Mass, Sunday, July 17th, Grenada Youth Center, 3 p.m. See you there.
Carnival costume? Check. Monday wear? Check. Unlimited premium drinks? Check. Meals with security, cool-down bus, mobile restrooms, plus Vaughn and other international performances? Check, 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 and check. The Carnival Mass Band Nirvana is ready for the road for Spice Mass. Backline, midline, and frontline costumes for men and women. Nirvana is the perfect state of happiness on the road for Carnival Monday and Tuesday. Register now at nirvanaempire.com. Call or WhatsApp us on 407-INFO. That's 407-4636. Instagram at Nirvana Empire. View our costumes at the Nirvana Showroom, La Marquis Complex, Grand Anse. Play Mass with Nirvana.
Hubbard's is giving away loads of prizes with Live Free for 1 year 3.0. Same promotion, more prizes to be won. Spend $50 or more at any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big every 2 weeks. Win free fuel for 1 year, free cooking gas for 1 year, cash savings account from the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, free electricity for 1 year, free Coca-Cola for 1 year, free property insurance for 1 year, free drinks for 1 year, free lunch packages from the Creative Chef, 1 free gas cooker, free internet and cable for 1 year, and free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 28 to September 16, 2022. Live Free for 1 year 3.0 is brought to you in part by Chief Brand Products, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Harry Breweries, Danny, Flow, Creative Chef, Grenlex, Supreme Bleach, Promos, Sol, Dutch Lady, Coca-Cola Grenada Bottling Company, Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, and the Food Fair Supermarket. Terms and conditions apply.
Kindly greasy pole, and we don't dance round the maypole.
Welcome back, everyone. It's We Culture, and we're just looking back at our just concluded election. Let me just quickly take a couple of comments on our Facebook page. So quite a number of people are saying good night. It's been a long time. All right, so someone says good night to We Culture program, especially Reece, Livingston, Godfrey, Scholar. Miss you guys. It was not fun without you all. I hope we're back to normal. I can't wait to know what the topic is tonight, watching from New York. All right, good evening. Yes, it is good. I sure missed my therapy. Good night, Godfrey, Scholar, and well, apparently that's a new person, and the other gentleman. So that's Doc Livingston Nelson. Just in case you don't know who it is, yeah, Livingston is one of our cultural. Is it? Oh, call her. Not that. Is that Icon? How you call him again? Was that J-Con, man? And he passed I going. Yeah, he passed I going. Alright, yes. Someone else is saying hello from New York. I'm seeing a lot of new names here tonight. Alright, someone from St. Croix. George Smith, good night to you all, and We all here in St. Croix. Mr. Nelson, this is your friend from St. Croix who always watching you and Godfrey. Good night. La Poetry in the house. Doc, I ain't sure I remember George Smith. You know George Smith? The name didn't ring a bell yet. All right.
John Smith's son.
Mr. Man, John Smith listen to the program, and careful, you just call up John Smith names in.
Well, I don't know.
John Smith. Don't call up John Smith David or Jed. You careful. Morby. What do you want Morby, okay? You get Morby. You get Morby. You tell just. When you get Morby, I hope you could take it. Alright, Mr. Marquez, what? I'm not sure. Right, pleasant good afternoon to you guys. First, I have to congratulate Doc and his team on their victory. As Randy Isaac sang for it on the campaign, no 6 for 9 for me, while Scholar on the other hand telling Kit go home. What is wrong with you? Delia Alexander, so true, Scholar. It was time for NNP to go. We fed up. Someone says, quite honestly, if election was held on social media, NDC would have won all 15. Maybe. Maybe, yes. Ronnie Slinger says, a lot of Grenadian at Zabuka. Green outside and yellow inside. And they have a Zabuka, a picture of a Zabuka. Right, let's see what else we got here. You're making me get goosebumps. Good to hear that we can support different parties, but respect is all we need. I guess that was in response to that collaboration. Yes. Someone is asking for Reece. She's having some internet problems. Hopefully, she should be able to join us. So we still monitor, and once she comes on, definitely she'll be in with us. Carl Thompson, the Bayesian analyst who predicted NNP win, is. I think we had to block this Carl Thompson, because the way he's referring to people, I think he's an expert in that himself, and that's and is that is a new phrase, Doc? And is that and is that.
And it's set to come crash.
Yeah, and is that right? I think the NDC stayed on message moving forward, and they ponged it to the end, and it resonated with people. Also, the people wanted a debate, and NNP refused. So, town hall meeting answered questions, and people wanted what people wanted to ask, while NNP was paying thousands of US$ to bring artists. Well, NDC defeated NNP with 2 local artists. Someone is saying an election we'll never forget. Deacon Mitchell lights up the internet with the highest ratings ever. People were so glued to whatever he was saying. I remember people saying that they couldn't do their work but to listen, and lots of food got burned because of Deacon Mania. Deanne Pridham says that make history. Deacon was a breath of fresh air, a rebirth of a new Maurice Bishop. Love the fact that NDC used the local band that sounded so good for the rally. NDC just needed a positive message, not all that antics and entertainment. And Morgan Heritage came and didn't perform the top song people liked. Which also was a big disappointment to the crowd, even though Shortleg asked them to. Right. NDC Motorcade was the biggest for election, and is that. Right. NNP didn't have a message, so they tried replacing it with entertainment. NDC stayed on message, focused on what they had to do, because we can't dance the country problems away. NNP lost the election since the first Wednesday night Deacon Mitchell started to introduce the manifesto, and it went on every Wednesday in different parishes. Congratulations to the Spice Isle. What caught my attention is the town hall style meeting held by the NDC. I enjoyed every moment. They underestimated the opponent. They think Grenada belongs to them. For years, they had a free pass, no accountability. Trisha Wells says, watching from Canada. Nash Jones, watching from New Jersey. We culture gone campaign politics. Trying to figure out which side's call on. And Gloria Sanderson says, watching from Aruba. So that's all the Facebook comments so far. Let's see what we have on the WhatsApp platform. Good evening to you guys. NDC had a much better campaign than NNP. They focused on issues much more than NNP. The person says, however, I think Bacon should stop this nonsense in the way he refers to Tri-Island State. You never hear the Grenadines and St. Vincent. It's Colin, that's your countryman that's saying that. Anyway, good night, Godfrey and team. It last suggested there was the Spirit of God led Jonathan Lacrette to mash up the bad spirit that was having... Wait. That was having a cloud over our country. I would say that this win for NDC was God's intervention and our change came. Thank God the Almighty for his blessings. Congrats to our Honorable Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell. I am 70 years. That was the best election I ever saw. So that's that for the WhatsApp platform. We're going to go to the telephone in just a while. But Scott, I know you want you to jump in a bit.
Yeah, there are a couple of things. But before I even go to the couple, let me just say that we have always been culturally blessed with having incident-free election, and that played out again, regardless to all the old talk and nitpicking and so on. Grenadians don't fight and behave themselves. Traditionally, that's how we are. And Doc spoke about they go in one route, NNP go in one route, and so on. Natural thing, as a matter of fact, and the police not been there, a lot of people will tell you that if the police was there, I don't know, they might have there be still.
The police are spoiled. They're not tapping traffic more than...
Well, Grenadians always have that belief, that the police are
tired the traffic more.
Traffic more than
No, honestly, sometimes I find something.
I saw one.
What is really helping the traffic?
No, we are saying no, we're just saying sometimes they're tied up more. Sometimes they're tied up.
I was not there. I'm not saying that they did, but I'm just saying what Grenadians, people always tend to believe that. But aside once, they had something in a plane. It was a political thing, and he had vehicles double park on both sides of the road. By traffic tight within that traffic. And about an hour, and you have about 5-10 police, and they fight, and nothing can move. And then a little Rastaman, ordinary little Rastaman just jump out from a bus. And a little Rastaman start to take vehicles and them inside the planes past there. He start to take vehicles and men start to follow what he's saying, and the police just stand up watching him. And in 2-2, traffic just start to vroom, who come out in plane past come out and vroom, and they go. And the traffic just run out. So I've seen it, but I mean, we must give commendation to our police because they work harder.
Oh yes.
Work hard during this campaign, because we don't know that sometimes you see the men in the night and so on, late night walking, and they're working from since morning.
But remember, let me just butt in here a bit, Scholar. As you say, they're working hard, and remember how hard they've been working from COVID. So it's been a long haul for the police. It's been a real long haul for them, Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we must. But let me get back to and I think I forget one thing I saying already, but I remember one. It became such. Oh yeah, I remember the second. It became such that after some time, because I think one of the things that wound NNP and its leadership a lot was the island gas thing.
Yeah, I think so.
The promise they made from last election. So that people were just waiting. Every time you hear Prime Minister say you have an announcement, everybody sharp man they waiting to pause because they ain't believing. As a matter of fact, it came to a point where if rain was falling, bucket a drop, and everybody outside with the umbrella, and all of a sudden Kit Michelle just passed and he said, "Hello, rain coming." Everybody closing the umbrella. Well, because they don't believe in that, you know. It came to a point where people just... It came to a point that just
real credibility.
What he said, because, and that in effect would have caught them. That last thing about the island gas is when people spoke about it, but it's not. It's not. Right? The second thing, a lot of people are of the opinion, and you know, we do programs on this, and this is a cultural thing again, that there was some divine hand leading this thing. I mean, my wife always argued with me that NDC go win the election. Even from way down, she's saying that. And the only reason why she's saying this, she asking me where they can come. How come? That is God thing. God was send this person. Because this man was nowhere. And all of a sudden, this man just appeared. The man talking without paper, rattling go down the road. And when this guy came up, and she just held fast to this thing, and I keep telling her, may I believe in this thing, you know. She held fast to it, it's divine. And a lot of people in Grenada felt that was just fate, that's divine, God sent him, and then you hear it talk about Laco, and Laco chase out them spirit because of how he pray and whatnot. And I think that talk about the pines and high pines of the election. Laco was probably the star of the election. And mind you, he gets his tail badly caught in his constituency. But if you had a social media election, if you think, if you had a national referendum, a national election, if you think it would. And then I believe that Lafayette himself, because of the posture and the waiting, Lafayette get a lot of votes even for the NDC. Not in his constituency, in other constituency, Lafayette maybe give Tessa 20 and give, so his contribution, you cannot even mark it in terms of what he did in other places. He would have contributed. I'm sure that who was in the thick of things must agree with that. But Godfrey, remember, we have to take colors.
Yeah. Well, we have a break to take. But I just wanted to add before Doc coming here. You mentioned the oil and gas. I think another thing that added to that was the whole Grenlec issue. Not so much the taking back of the shares, but I think the reason people felt it was done. I think that was. I think that was another because a lot of people felt that there was no need to, and you were hearing a lot of things that is a personal thing and all of that. So there were a number of things along the way that did not work well for the NNP this time around. You know.
Plus we were promised that electricity bills will just go down through. Once they take Grenlec, and then you hear he might go down in 2030.
But Pascal, I agree with you as the Laco factor. I mean, fully endorse that. But let me just say, I believe when I mention about the real example of the rain and if Kit Michelle passed and he said, rain is falling, people just take out the umbrella. I believe that Kit Michelle was an asset to the party, but then later on, became a serious liability. And so people were not looking forward. People started seeing Kit Mitchell as the trickster. I mean, somebody that lie without just blatantly, without any, reason. So Grenadian people lost a lot of trust in his message. And everybody tried to pick hole as to, well, you say that, but you didn't mean that. Even when he mentioned they would not challenge the union. I mean, I believe I was one of the first person that said, yeah, he would come in, not the ruling. He wouldn't challenge the ruling as it relates to the payment of the gratuity and pension. I think I was one of the only person that said, well, he wouldn't challenge. That doesn't mean he's prepared to pay. Because he is that kind of person. So the island girl, the pension, the secrecy story in Green Lake, and again, the disdain they seem to have against teachers or public servants. I think that really it took for a lot of persons and it became personal. So in the campaign, it became one where people push back. And if you notice, some persons that were so-called hard LNP just decide they can't vote for the man because of the many flaws. The fact that they were not generating no new idea, nothing creative anymore. But the fact that they believe he has reached a time, the end of the time, and then they believe that he should be passing it on to somebody else. So there is this belief by Grenadians, a large segment of the Grenadian people, that he should have at least passed on that mantle. And that was not done. And then again, he lacked the creativity, he lacked the new ideas, he lacked the vision. So I think this combination was a pushback in terms of the NNP message not going home where it should go. And people felt that they had nothing to do. But piggybacking on what scholars said as it relates to Deaton, I mean, not only, if you look at the contrast, not only will you ask Deaton one question, and Deaton would offer to answer 10 of those questions. He never seemed to answer just that one question. He always seemed to go and always open. And spontaneously, he seemed so prepared for almost every question. So it was a miracle to have somebody emerging out of the dojo in a short period of time, but so well-eyed, so well-prepared, so calmly, being able to engage the public. And there's a lot of resources he had at his disposal. So Deaton coming, contrasting with what we were getting, was a real pull. So apart from people pushing back on the image of the old NNP, there's a serious pull to listen. And his tongue became something like an opera, like a real show that you're looking at and you're moving. And you want to see the ending, you want to see action, you don't want to take your eyes off. So Deaton had that magnetism that it drew people in. So again, you had the two contrasting situations that made the election set. You had a set pattern, and that is what it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's take our final break, and then when we come back, we'll take some telephone calls. Stay with us, folks. We'll be back in a moment.
Get away from your daily stress with a Grenada vacation at the Koyaba Beach Resort. Koyaba is located on the world-famous Grand Anse Beach and boasts 5.5 acres of beautiful garden. We offer excellent service, good food and drink, well-appointed rooms and friendly staff in a safe environment. Facilities include 2 restaurants, 2 bars, swimming pool, water sports, tennis, gym and body treatment rooms. Call 473-444-4129.
When you need your prescription filled or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grand Anse, Victoria Street, Granville, and Central Deputy Street, Wharf. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
Hubbard's is giving away loads of prizes with Live Free for 1 year 3.0. Same promotion, more prizes to be won. Spend $50 or more at any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big every 2 weeks. Win! Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Cash savings account from the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited. Free electricity for 1 year. Free Coca-Cola for 1 year. Free property insurance for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Free lunch packages from the Creative Chef. 1 free gas cooker. Free internet and cable for 1 year. And free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 28 to September 16th, 2022. Live Free for 1 year 3.0 is brought to you in part by Chief Brand Products, Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited, Carib Breweries, Danny, Flow, Creative Chef, Grenlex, Supreme Bleach, Promos, Sol, Dutch Lady, Coca-Cola Grenada Bottling Company, Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited, and a Food Fair Supermarket. Terms and conditions apply.
They are the few, the strong, the elite. Grenada, get ready as our sporting gladiators go for gold and glory at the World Championships. Follow every throw, stride and jump from July 15th to the 24th. Capture the action daily on GBN television. It's the World Championships. The dream continues.
James is going to win it.
Welcome back, everyone. It's We Culture, the first after the election, and of course we just sort of reviewing, some of the high points, So our telephone line is open. So you can give us a call and you can share with us your thoughts. Maybe, what you thought was, the high point for you. So you can probably share with us that, if there was anything in the election throughout the campaign that was a high point for you, and of course we can chat about it. So the number 435-2041, you can give us a call and we'll definitely be happy to hear from you. Let me just take this. We have a couple of comments here. Someone says, I am happy that the PM is not preaching doom and gloom as to his findings while making his rounds. Time for Grenadians to stop criticizing the past Prime Minister. He has done well and set the stage for younger ones to accept the baton. Thank God for blessings. Don't ever bite the hands that fed you. Sounds familiar. Someone from Carrick actually says Kendra called us vagabonds and scammers, so no way she would have won Carrick. Right. There's some comments that I would rather not. I would rather not take doc. So let's see if there are any additional comments on our WhatsApp platform. Right. Our PM is a good man. Okay, our PM is a good man. Tell that man on Facebook, stop criticizing him. He wants better for the country and how he calls the nation is not wrong. Petite Martinique, Carriacou, and Grenada is not wrong to describe the country. I have no problem with that at all. I don't see what is wrong about it. Many Grenadians were angered by the disrespect of the former leader, Colin Deacon Dunce, and asking where did they. Also, the pension factor was a big deciding issue with public workers. Akima's statement, NDC not being a political party, did not go down well and has probably put a nail in the coffin of a political career. I love the reactionary style of the NNP, whatever embarrassing situation that they can commented on. NNP tried a quick fix the next day. Well, I'm not sure what that one is. In Central Happy Hill, NDC used to get 3 or 10 votes. Lacrette got 187 plus. As an NNPite, NDC ran a brilliant campaign, staying on point and capitalizing on the PM decision to ring the bell too late. And someone is asking for Reece again and saying happy belated birthday. Alright, let's see what other comments we have. Right, so that's about it on the WhatsApp platform. So let's go to our telephone. We have a call online. We called you. Good evening.
Hello, good night.
Hey, what happened?
I did it, no boy. I did it. Joy to the world, the Lord is come.
Hey, Christmas come early?
Yes. You remember the story about David and Goliath? That's true story, no? Because when you watch the election, it's David and Goliath. David was a little man. You understand? So it was a real story. And I want to big up Glory and Toes. I really want to big up Glory, and I know Glory go work hard because she's a hard worker, and she don't fret shit at all. You understand? Glory will click up any shit she see on the street. Glory, I wish you all the best. I know you go work hard. You promise to work hard because you're a hard worker. And Mr. Toes, I know Mr. Toes go do a good job. And all the others. And I want to big up Deacon. I just call him David. Because I know he's a capture Goliath. I always saying, I can't vote for the old fellas and them. I tired with that old fella and some young people. Let me try them young people. Because Grenada young people, they're very intelligent, you know. They're bright, they're not stupid. So what they might do stupidness, but those who are care is bright people. They're brighter than us long ago. When I go into school, children in bright, so children now bright, even little babies now show you how to use phone. They don't even have 2 years yet and they could show you how to use a cell phone. So that to tell you how them young people now really bright. So I want to big up Deacon and the team, and especially my girl Glory. Every time I see Glory, I feel to cry because I'm my best friend. Glory and Mr. Toes, big up. And I go give me a little pension because I begin up I reach 60 already. Give me a little pension. Anyway, have a good night.
All right, darling. All right. Thanks a lot indeed. Yeah. You know, Doc, it was interesting that even the seats where NNP won, the margin of victory was significantly reduced. When you...
But just even starting with Lacrette has have never had anybody crossing 100.
Yeah. When I think Gloria Thomas, she lost by 70 votes. Yeah, I think it was very close. I think it was around 70. Peter David in Tong, that was significantly reduced as well to about 100 and something, 108 thereabout. Yeah. So there was some. I mean, the NDC was able to clear the deficit. Yeah, and in areas where it was significant, it was significantly reduced. I mean, look at St. John, for example. I think it was 7 votes that separated. Yes. So. So it was.
Dayton won by 1,672.
Oh, that was significant. In fact, that was the largest.
Run was at 1,080, I think 89.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the again over 1,000.
Yeah, I think it was about just about 1,100 there, but yeah.
So that was a significant number. Everybody else they closed it down as much. Because I'm telling you, well, there was a momentum. Anyway, you talking about other persons.
Yeah, let's go back to the telephone again. We called you. Good evening. Hello. Hello.
Good night.
Yes, good evening, caller. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to say congratulations to my ex-Prime Minister. He lost the election. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much indeed. Well, Reece has joined us. People have been asking. So, Reece, welcome. We know you were experiencing some internet issues, and we're happy you can join because all night people have been asking, where is Reece? Where is Reece? Where is Reece?
Mute.
Unmute. Yeah.
I remember a couple of years ago with all that, I signed up for a service where it was said that, once you go with this, we're trying to alleviate the problems that we used to have when rainfall, where you have internet drops and all of that. According to the Jamaicans, I lie them a tell. Don't think so. I'm still having all those issues. Actually, for the whole day today at home, there was no internet service. So, I don't know.
Well, yeah. you probably missed it, but Scholar did say, and I think that should give you a hope. Scholar did say that the transformation process is ongoing. So soon enough, a change will come in your direction.
Okay, I'm looking forward. Because watch me, I work for it. I deserve it.
It's yours.
Mine. Give me. I pay for it. That's right.
Wonderful. Let's go back to the telephone before we get Reece's perspective on some of the discussion. We culture. Good evening.
Good evening, we culture.
Yes, good evening.
I too would like to add my voice in congratulations to the new NDC and to all of the candidates who were successful in this year's general election. One of the things that I take away from this election is to know that hard work and dedication really do pay off. Because a special congratulations to Ms. Thomas. I do believe and I know that she's a hard worker. And despite what is being said on the negative, I know she'll be successful because she's a person that do not take no for an answer. And she go for it. It doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter how. She really go for it. And to all of those people who work behind the scenes and the front and the side, I too want to say, take a bow. Your hard work has paid off. A gentleman said to me some time ago that he said the NDC was lying in the road like a dead frog waiting to go to the cemetery. And when Deacon came on the scene, it's like they had mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Everybody jump up, and I believe that worked well for them. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. Thank you, caller. Thank you very much indeed. So before we go back to the telephone, Reece, we are basically looking back at the election, the results, and some of the high points. So we'd like to get your perspective on the election, what transpired, the results, and all of that.
Well, for me, and I'm happy that I'm able to speak a little freer now. It is not easy when you live in a country where you find that there are certain things that you cannot be free. You're not free to speak up. You're not free to have opinions, and sometimes based on the place where you work, you have to be very much on the straight and narrow. But from the first time I heard Deacon Mitchell speak, I was sold. I was sold on him. I had little issues, but I was sold on what he represented, how he put it forward, and all of that. The campaign, I loved it. I love that my children got to see a different type of campaigning, especially when it comes to like the town hall meetings and all these pocket meetings, and that it wasn't so much about just idle talk, but substantial content coming out in terms of plans and being there and present to answer the questions of the masses. I thought that was very big, and I give them a lot of kudos for that, because as people say, they are younger in terms of maybe the other side in terms of experience in certain in some of the candidates, but they were still willing to expose themselves to the questions and answering them. And then the humility when it comes to taking what is it that they did not think about or what they didn't know and saying, I am going to add this to what is it that our plans are going to be. I thought that was just so humbling. In terms of the results, it was very competitive for me. I watched both campaigns, but I was not necessarily at the rallies. I was just, having all these devices open and watching everything, which to me is the best view, because you get to see everything up close and personal. The camera directs everything, and the people, you get to see how people are reacting. So I used to say, well, if the diaspora was voting, I don't even think Dr. Keith was going to win his seat. That's how much, to me, the diaspora was for the NDC. When it comes to the comments and all of that, I saw a level of bravery coming out from people that we never knew were so vocal. We never knew they were so into politics or cared so much about what goes on in our country. So I really thought that there was sort of like an uprising of the electorates where they felt like they needed to speak. They needed to voice their opinion, because we all know how when one speaks, someone else might get influenced. And we saw that happening. When it comes to the elections, I thought it is possible that it could have gone either way, but it would have been more like a 7-8, whichever side takes the 8 or whichever side takes the 7. But coming down to like the last rally, I took my fastness and I bring Nala on a motorcade, because I'm really trying to grow up a cultured child. And that was one of the biggest mistakes I made, because I know with real issues, but I did my part. And when I saw that rally and I was looking at the other side at the same time, I said, no, this looks like it could really have a swing of a difference. And I think that is what has been revealed here. And when you look at the closeness of some of the votes from one to the other, and you look at the turnout and the increase in votes for in areas where predominantly NNP wins, I thought, another month, a lot of things could have turned. We could have possibly ended up in a 13-2 or even a 15.
All right. Like you, I didn't get to. Well, I didn't venture to go to any rallies. I was at the rallies at home. I thought that was the best way, because those large crowds, me and these kind of large crowds ain't working too well at all. So yeah, I opted to look at them from home. Let's go back to the telephone, because before we come to Doc, we called you. Good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening, caller.
Good evening. I would like to congratulate the NDC's team for doing a job well done. And I particularly like the town hall meetings. And I think if in the new dispensation that we're in, they can find the time to keep doing that, in a long while they would never lose. Because people like to know that what they are saying, that has a part in the governance of the nation. I think as well, if I had been a part of Dr. Mitchell's party or his members in his government. And he kept ever so often telling the nation and others he do not know who is going to take over the party. Man, I would have resigned. I would have started an inner revolution in that party, because it's telling us he doesn't have confidence in nobody that's around. It looks as though it's his party alone. I guess when he dies, the party might die too. Something went wrong, and it's still going wrong. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Thanks a lot indeed. 435-204. Doc, you want to jump in before we go back to the telephone?
No, just take some more calls. It's okay. The people.
All right. Well, we see. I read most of the Facebook comments that we had. Maybe with the exception of, well, just a few. Yeah, just a few at the end, very short ones. So we'll probably go back in a little bit. But the telephone number, folks, 435-2041. The line is open. Let's go back to the telephone. We culture. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Godfrey. I appreciate it.
Yes, good evening.
I have to say I agree with Ms. Reece 100%. Mr. Deacon had me at hello. At the moment he appeared on the GBNB on the headline interview, I knew he had a leadership capabilities, and he was going to go far. So he has done well. They executed their campaign wonderful, and I think Kate Mitchell, they made a mistake by waiting too long to ring the bell. He should have rung the bell the weekend that he had Miss Motley here on the island to make a speech, but he waited too long, and he gave him time to have all those town hall meetings and get to know the people, and people get to know him. So congratulations, NDC, and we're looking for great things towards you. Wonderful. Good night.
Thank you very much, caller. And just to remind you, folks, that when you're calling, turn the volume of your device down and listen to us on your telephone. Yeah, or else we won't be able to hear you clearly because of the feedback that we would get from your device. All right. So let's go back to the telephone once again. We culture. Good evening. Hello. Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, good evening, caller. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good evening. First and foremost, let me say good night to you and your panel, Godfrey, and congratulations to Team NDC. They ran an excellent campaign, in my personal opinion. Added to that, we saw an outgoing NMP team who appeared to have done nothing, so they had no substance to campaign during this election. The new political leader of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Deacon Mitchell, kudos to you. You understood what the youth of Grenada were looking for. You understood what the pensioners wanted. You understood what the private sector was looking for, and by and large, even the public sector. It was just a breath of fresh air. The school children was on board. The youth was on board. You gave the young women and the young men of Grenada a sense of hope. You instilled back in us a sense of pride. And all in all, the way he eloquently took everything that the incumbent said and turned it into good. Even when they talk about the Susu and the night he came and that rally and that platform, and he turned it into something that no one, thought it was going to turn into. Additionally, everything, there came a time where people just wanted to hear everything that he had to say. Even after this election, people were still asking for more. They still wanted more. So, by and large, I think Grenada is heading in the right direction. For Keith Mitchell and the new National Party, personally, I think they have a lot of work to do, because the wave that the the Honorable Prime Minister had made during this last election, that will be something to contend with for the next 5 to 10 years in Grenada. So thank you so much for allowing me to make my contribution, Godfrey. And I want to say to our Grenadian people that our leader is one of substance. Our leader is one that our children can look up to. By and large, even the world is looking at him. I listened to him last night on the BBC News, and oh my God, as a Grenadian, I felt proud. I felt, that pride again reinstilled in me, and I'm just speaking personally. And I just want to say all the best to Grenada and good luck to all of us going forward for the next 5 years.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, all right. Scholar, welcome back. Let's go to the telephone again. We called you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening, caller.
For the program.
Yes, go ahead. You on?
First of all, we want to congratulate Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell and his team. They did a marvelous job. And as the caller just said, for once in a long time, we could have asked our young people to sit back and listen to politics. But most importantly, we just had a conversation with some gentlemen in a shop, a very popular shop. And the discussion was, how long was the Lavery Road being built? Or rebuilt or what have you? And that tells us something. If you have a constituency and it takes you over 10 years, you build your brick, you are taking people for granted. So that was one of the big casualties we had for the election. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much indeed. So, Reece, we could probably take a couple of comments. I'm trying to look here, maybe from around, I think maybe around Chris Bowen thereabout, around that area there. I think before that, I may have taken some. So you can probably take it and see what other comments we have. But I think it's within that area there. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not seeing all of them, but maybe if I read some, you can tell me if you've been there already.
Yeah,
Cynthia B said, my sentiments, I said regardless of what was done, it was in NDC's hands. Roger Mitchell said, let's say uncle is a barfly that doesn't know when to quit. Nash Jones is saying Bowen tired, he was sleeping on stage. And Patsy said Keith too. Roger Mitchell is saying Dickon mastered the art of engaging folks. Cynthia said, I am happy that the PM is not preaching doom and gloom as to his findings while making his wrongs. And Patsy saying Kendra called us vagabonds and scammers, so no way she would have won Karakou. Then we had Velma saying, time for Grenadians to stop criticizing the past Prime Minister. He has done well and set the stage for younger ones to accept the baton. Thank God for blessings. Don't ever bite the hands that fed you. And with that, there was a number of people coming at her.
Actually, I did. I think that I took that. Yeah, so go along a little more.
So, the Chester effect, you read about that?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay,
one.
so Alison Tisha George is saying that the Chester effect on the platform was a disaster for the NNP. He was a liability, not an asset. Patsy is saying you had to lick kid food. I know. Okay, that's the back and forth that's happening because of that comment. Jose said, oh gosh, Ernesto Marquez. I won't get used to this name, you know. He better change it back. Doc, can you tell us what happened to Tessa? We didn't hear for getting any position. We have Sonia. Okay, Joseph Nicholas is saying, Hannah Plenty, I think you were sleeping. This man put people in poverty, then take them out. Check the unemployment. Let's see. Sonia is saying the outgoing PM have brought the country into poverty, disrespect, and dependency, in my opinion. Jose is saying, I think that the NDC having young and energetic, promising young folks new on the scene, while the NNP stuck with the senior citizens as leaders in the party, was with the same old ideas, was no match with the new ideas. Delia is saying, I think the NNP underestimated the strength and resilience of the NDC people, and in just 8 months it cost them a whole election, and I didn't want them to get not even one seat. Then we have Jose saying, I think also the NNP message on the experience angered lots of people because people were saying that if you don't give them a chance, how would they get the experience? And NNP wasn't listening to the people and was continuing to go on that experience thing, which damaged them. So they're saying, same here, I was switching from one device to the other. I guess most people did that. Kim K. Lewis saying the town hall meetings contributed a lot to the election. Sonia is saying after the election, Emmeline Pear and Kate Lewis' behavior was very uncalled for. Chris Bowen is saying, I always thought the leadership of the NDC should change if they wanted to make a difference. Kim K., thank you very much for the birthday wish. And for those who didn't know, my birthday was actually on election day. Then we have Patricia saying Orlando Romaine was the rock. Delia Alexander said, I attended each and every rally and I was very happy with the turnout and the people were so involved in everything. PM Mitchell and the speakers. Gabrielle Francis is saying, Gabriel, sorry, the NNP will have town hall meeting too. Watch, you're going to see when the time comes. Yoli Sill is saying, I think one of the biggest downfall of the NNP's loss was a shaggy plead your cause program. Jose is saying, I think one of the things NNP was blocking online viewers once they commented against them, I was blocked from every NNP platform in the media, even though I had to change account to get back on the platforms. This is why tonight I'm carrying something different. So the youth was blocked from expressing themselves. But you don't know youth, Jose? Why they block you? You're a senior citizen? Nash is saying, my 6-year-old saying this is not a joke. Velma Hutchinson is saying, I think Grenadians are happy with the change. Let us work to make Grenada a better place. Please stop criticizing the past government. We have a long way to go. Terrace is saying, we should be proud to have a well-spoken and intelligent Prime Minister to represent us on the world stage. Jose is saying, Reece, although you didn't attend the meeting, you were still harassing me online, but my vote went to Gov along with my St. Patrick's migrants. So where else you put it? They're saying the personal attacks were too much from the other side. I was very optimistic that NDC had the victory long before it came. Patrice David said, happy you guys are back, was grieving for a couple of weeks. You guys was out, happy for the NDC team, love them loads. Every time PM Dickens speaks, I feel happier. Cadella said this was a Dickens said election. Velma said, very proud of the way the citizens behaved during the election, peaceful and calm. I don't know why people always think that we're going to be like violent. We're not that type. Jose said, Reece, I heard Gov vote came up to Sutton. Right. Troops. Jose said from the PM goes down was mistake all the way. And he wishes me happy belated birthday. Then Gloria Lambert is saying, I'm very disappointed in the behavior of the former education minister and her female compatriot in Ministry of Youth. The behavior after the result was appalling. Congrats, NDC. Let's all work together to build this beautiful country. And just a couple more. Angus is saying, just so Keith Mitchell hands call at the crown again. And Tresaria is saying, NNP need a clean slate of candidates if they ever want any kind of credibility. And that's what I'm seeing here for that.
Godfrey? When I was mentioning about the atmosphere, and I say the atmosphere in this campaign was different. It was much softer, it was gentler, there was less hostility. Now, in Grenada, we don't really take guns and we don't fight, we don't, against each other. But usually when you go to campaign in certain quarters, some candidates actually get a lot of cussing and things like that. So those things happen. But I'm saying that definitely that this campaign, the tone was a lot softer, gentler, more accommodating. It was completely different. When I say peaceful, I wasn't really referring to the fact that, we did not go and fight, we did not cutlash, we did not people, NNP and the clashing in places. I related to all the candidates, all the NDC candidates. And something that was extremely consistent is that everywhere they go, even people that felt differently, that they were on the other side, would have at least sometimes give them a listening ear. Or they would go in areas that was hardcore in green, but people would not, use the obscenity or chase them out of the yard or so. those occasions was very, very rare where these things happen, and that was throughout the entire island.
Doc,
so I just wanted to be.
Doc, you don't know why.
You tell me.
The people didn't bother to cause the candidates because they don't take out the age on them poster and them already.
Well, no, there were a few persons every election. There was one guy.
This election is the most I see poster the face. All the region they post on them poster, whole poster, all kind of the face.
I think every election. But matter of fact, there's guys that you don't have northeast, between northeast, northwest. So from every year, his job is to get his ladder with his truck and he go and take out people posters and banners. I thought it was less this year. Yes, I have
never seen big posters with hole and things. I've never seen that.
I've seen that. I've seen billboard with hole too. Yeah, I know.
With hole and thing in it.
No, I see this year. I've seen one or two this year, but I'm saying I believe it's less than in previous years.
I don't know where you are now.
Anyway, let me move on.
All right. Let me see. Someone is saying, well, I think they have this one a little mixed up here with the constituencies. They say the former rep for St. Andrews Southeast. I think they probably mean Southwest. Lost a seat. Yeah.
Southeast, Godfrey, Southeast.
No.
Oh, your land is in Southwest, right?
That's right, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, she lost, yeah. She lost us by not looking to get people on the opposite side to come over to her. Right. Okay, what else we have? Someone is saying, Godfrey, I think Tessa will be made president of the Senate as it's only 7 allowed. Well, only Doc could confirm that. I think someone had asked on Facebook as well. So I don't know.
Yes. Jose.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. So yeah, that's basically all the on the WhatsApp. Let's go to the telephone. We call you. Good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening, caller. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Congratulations for the Prime Minister, the NDC, and I hope that they will be able to keep up. Don't do like 2018. At 2 days for they to wait for the time, they were fighting with one another and make confusion to break up the party. I hope they don't do that. Hope they do the right thing this time.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. Doc, you're here.
She referred to 2008 and 2008.
Yeah, 2008. She's making reference to. All right, let's go back to the telephone. We call you. Good evening. Hello.
Yeah, good night.
Yes, good evening, caller.
All right, I want to congratulate the NDC on the victory. I think NDC do a very good job in the campaigning, as many callers said. They were dealing with the issues, and I think right now in Grenada, people need to hear issues. Now, for the past time, the NMP was winning with the brides, the rallies, not the rally, but the artists and them coming on. But I think this time was a different story. You know, concerning the city in Carriacou, I think the outgoing Prime Minister was saying certain things which was displeasing, like telling Matthew Stewart when she wins, give the man a little job. And I want Tevin now to give her a little job. Have a good night.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much indeed.
A regular chit for chatting.
Yeah, well, I mean, the former rep in Carrick who's doing a job, she's a lawyer, so she actually works. Yeah, let's go back to the telephone. We call you. Good evening.
Hey, good evening, guys.
Yes, good evening.
I forgot to say happy belated birthday, Miss Reece. I guess you are now 25. You're legal. So enjoy. Later, guys.
All right, thank you. So some belated birthday greetings to Reece. We seem to have lost her again.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back to the telephone. We culture. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, good evening, caller.
Right. How do you see GOLP having any impact on Mr. Dabrio losing his seat? Let me put back on the radio to hear you all right?
Okay.
Because remember, GOLP got 19 votes, and Mr. Dabrio lost by 6 votes. All right.
Okay, thanks, sir. Yeah. Reece?
Wasn't it more when the recount was done? Something like 12?
The last thing I heard was 7.
I think when the recount was done, it came to 12. But
yes, it came to 12. But it's funny that she asked the question, how is it that, the GOLP, we think, would have impacted Mr. Dabrio's loss? I would like to make a more positive spin. How it would have impacted Karen's distance in terms of her winning. Who's to say that the people who supported GOLP are people who would have supported NNP in the past or may have supported them if there was no GOLP there. But, regardless, either way it could have been. In that constituency in particular, I just feel really, really proud that the campaign spoke so much about inexperienced youth vying for leadership, and it took inexperienced, and I'm saying that in quotation marks, youth to have put the incumbent out of power, out of leadership. I don't like to use power, out of leadership. I thought that was a real victory, and Jose, that is one of the things about us Wharf people in particular. We just work hard. You see, it was no easy win. It was no campaigning on the name of Dickon to win. It was like carrying one horse seat. And I want to congratulate her because she is now the youngest MP in the Commonwealth, in the Caribbean. It's Guelph again. This is a big thing. Yeah? So congratulations, Honorable Karen James.
Right. Let's go back to the telephone. We seem to have lost that one. All right. Doc, you want to chime in because we're getting close to wrap up. Scholar left us again. I think we yeah.
But Doc, did you want to say something about the caller's question?
Yes.
Which question?
Well, I agree with Reece because there's no way you could determine where if they didn't vote GOLP, where they may have voted. They probably may have not voted at all, for that matter.
I think Reece answered the question. The best way could have been answered. So there's nothing I could add to that. I concur with your. Who would say that these people would vote? Or going to vote NNP or EN. And what was the number? Was it 19?
Yes, thereabout. Yeah.
We never know where they were going to vote, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or if they were going to vote at all, if they didn't vote GOLP, so. Yeah, definitely. But, I think the election, to me, it was a really fun election. It was one of the most exciting I've experienced in terms of campaign, and so, like I said, there were very little throwing of words and bad talking and mudslinging. A little more antics, I enjoyed a lot. The susu, the back and forth susu, that was. It was fun.
I think generally, our former Prime Minister was really good at setting the tone and having the opposition respond to his tone. So, when he attacked Nazim, And that's indeed react or he attacked Tillman and say Tillman couldn't run a selfish shop and those kind of things. And then his balance, he actually stuck with people as he was able to ridicule. But I think with this one, with Dickon, he's lost his footing because almost everything he said, it was rebutted and rebutted almost immediately. I mean, the one with this Susu was such a classic. It was out of the box for kind of out of character, you can see. With Dickon when he responded to Take Susu. But it went so well that I believe he had Kit Mitchell in a place where he had to be more careful with what he said. And that was not the typical. So I think he cramped his style in being free, the man to show the chat and to have the little picong at the election. And that is what election, that was probably what we know election usually would be. People throwing talk at each other and you have to respond and see who could counteract. But I believe Kit lost his footing with this one. And as I say, well, not only with Dickon, John Public, people that was on social media, was always there. There were many other persons just really poised, waiting to react to everything. And I believe, again, so that, to me, this election was defined, really was a defining moment. And I believe in future, more of the election would be fought on social media rather than on posters and writing on the street and those things. And then more election will be fought on social media.
But Doc, I mean, you were. I mean, I was not, involved per se. You followed a lot of it. But to me, I find NDC really did not bother with the NNP. I thought the NDC was focused on what they were doing, while NDC were having large community meetings, and so NDC was focused on the town hall. So I with the exception of maybe Susu, I thought I find Dickon didn't bother with that. I mean, like I said, you were there, so I may have missed some things.
But Godfrey, you are not wrong. Perception is everything, eh? Yes, he probably was behind the scenes, but what we saw, and I told you I followed both campaigns, I can tell you that on the NNP platform, if anybody was becoming frustrated, it was on that side. Because NDC seemed to have had a plan as to how they are doing things, and it didn't matter who said what about them, they were continuing with that plan. Yes, there was a little bit of the picong, the little throw that happened, the first one for us was the Susu, Bangalore's boss, but Susu doesn't boss. We had that little bit of thing, and about, a tired Suyu, that kind of thing. That is when we heard they can get a bit colloquial. Other than that, they were just running their own race.
That's what I gathered. I don't think Dickon bothered with them at all. He was just focused on.
Yeah, you find that NDC was answering things that was said at town hall meetings, especially in terms of their plans, the pie in the sky plans. You found that NNP was responding to that more than NDC responding to anything. And might I add, what NDC was responding to was basically the little bantering kind of thing. Everybody call him Dr. Susu, call him whatever. That's what NDC answered to. NDC did not answer to anything that I would consider to be substance, because maybe there wasn't much of it.
But
before you come in, to speak on from where I sit, for NDC to speak about the substantial things that NNP was talking about on the platform is to give them publicity, is to help put things into perspective for NNP. So you don't want to do that. The amount of times they spoke about the 100 million for 100,000, you never hear NDC talk about that. That is giving it away, and you don't want to do that.
But I also thought that after a while, the NNP campaign, especially the then Prime Minister, became a little more focused and had moved away from some of the antics and started pushing a more message kind of thing. And I believe that was mainly because there was no response coming from the other side, and so he became a little more focused on messaging.
When you see phone lines start being asked to go up, that could tell you something, that the NDC was really influencing the NNP's campaign. Go ahead, Doc.
All right. From day one, if you notice, they deliberately did not even mention. I think we had a time frame for, 90% of the campaign never mentioned NNP and never mentioned the name Kit Mitchell on any of his presentations, town hall, public meeting, village meetings. None of those took place. So it's basically this man who was the center of attention and likes all the attention and like the bickering. Now we have somebody that is his opponent that behaving as if he does not exist. And this was a classic case that irritated, we believe, Kit, because now he was totally ignored. He was not But if you go back to the 2013 and 2018 campaign, it was like Kit did that, NNP did that, etc. And it was definitely a matter where the other candidates had to try to follow suit. Talk about our plans, our vision, what we want to achieve, rather than respond to what NNP is doing and NNP does not do, what Kit has done. So that to me created, so every now and then when Kit pushed, I think he was to create that kind of engagement, this bickering, and it didn't stick. But even when things were said, it was used against him. One being the Susu, second thing when you make the comparison about his candidate, that was used again against them. So it became a difficult thing. Imagine you're running your campaign and almost everything you say at a meeting, something is being used against you. So that was for me, that is extremely would have been a very
But you also have to understand, and maybe I would get a little bit into some deep politicking here. You have to also understand that the NNP is different from the NDC in terms of its structure and makeup and support, and so a lot of the things that Dr. Keith Mitchell did really and truly, it wasn't wrong. Because I think the first course of action in a case like that, where you have a strong opponent, is to ensure that you keep who you have. And I think a lot of the thing he did was things that have appealed to his supporters in the past. And so it is important that you keep that. Now, I think what happened in doing that, he probably didn't have enough, to extend outside of that. And that made the difference between himself and the NDC, where the NDC were not just able to keep their base, but to reach outside of that and bringing even people from the other side. So, in fact, the antics that the former Prime Minister used, it was used in ensuring that he kept who he had, because if not, then you would lose it. And that
didn't even work. But even that didn't work because
to an extent it did, because
no, it didn't. It didn't work because
the children of the revolution, the people that got rid of Gary, that fought the revolution, were the children of Garyites. A lot of the children of NNPites was not. They didn't thought it was funny the way the campaign was being run by the NNP. A lot of them secretly and openly, some of them openly, disassociated with the politics of the parents.
No, and I'm not disagreeing, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He was able to, to keep most of we had, but he didn't have enough to extend beyond that. But bear in mind, the NNP got a lot of votes. They lost a couple of thousand.
But exactly, that's what I'm saying. He couldn't reach, but he also lost out of his base.
Yeah, and that is because
33,000 to 28.
Yeah, but 28,000. When you can keep 28,000 of your support, that is significant. When you look, when you look at the margin, it's not a significant amount. So basically, I thought he did what he felt he was supposed to do. However, not enough to go beyond what he needed.
Yeah.
So definitely, it
Remember
worked.
a program before, right? A program before, Scholar, you laugh at me when I said I find that we are finding that we are developing more conscious voters. And I think the town hall meetings and the way Dickon and them carried out their campaign really show out that we do have some people who are more conscious about how they vote, why they vote. But there are people who did not want to hear what they call the stupid talk. They want substance. They want to hear plans. They want to be inspired. And that was a lot of young people. And of course, there were the people from the revolutionary era. So to them, it's like they are experiencing deja vu, something that they knew of before. Whereas the younger people were like, but this is real? Like, I've never seen campaigning like that. It was amazing seeing how people were just leaning on railings, trying to gobble up everything that were coming out of the NDC candidate's mouth. And it wasn't so much about vibes in, it was about substance. We keep using that word, substance. Whereas when you look on the other side, and I'm looking at from the devices, right? When you look on the other side, people were just kind of like waiting for when the party is going to start. When is it going to start? When are we going to have some fun here? I didn't come here for that. That is what I was getting.
Yeah. Well. Look, guys, we practically out of time. Scholar, bounce back. So, Scholar, will give you your time to make your little thing.
Well, I must apologize because I've been in and out, taking a piece, and then I have my rehearsals to control, because the truth is that the election carnival done, but we have the real carnival to unpack. Not the Spice Mass. The election thing, as I said earlier in the show, we had so much fun during this post-carnival that he make up for about 4 carnival before, and people kind of finding it difficult to refocus, In actual fact, Soca Mona preliminaries are supposed to start yesterday, but of course they can't start because nobody is studying that, nobody can do that, so they pushed it back to next week. I understand from all accounts that the registration this year is very, very low. Calypsonians and artists and soca artists, and then just couldn't get themselves together in time to do what they have to do. But we are moving full steam ahead, and with Kaiso Bars, we the looks tomorrow, please God. I sent an invite for all we culture. No one responded. I sent an invite to all you individually. No one responded. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the election do, but nobody knows to bother in with him. Godfrey say he's a
especially leader free.
And say he's a full-time governor of Calypso. But me I know if cut skin hurting him, I know he will recover from the
I faint twice.
Why you do?
I faint twice.
Well, between me and you, if you faint twice, you have to multiply that by 2 because I find you go faint twice again.
When?
During the course.
Which course?
Yeah. During the course, I faint again.
No, I'll be faint done already. I'll be faint use up.
No,
I use about be faint already. I use up.
If you use up all your faint already, all of us, the rest of us on we culture, we general. So you want in me faint, that you want in the faint.
No. Don't worry. I'm big. I could take faint. I could faint. I just making sure I know where I'm fainting. When I'm falling down, you don't think there's something to boss me hair and all this kind of So how many artists you have in bands? I know. Last time you had to mash up bands in 2?
Yeah, well, this year we started with 14, but we have a number of guys still outstanding. We have about 4 fellas coming from the diaspora, more sons and them fellas coming from the diaspora. So by next week we'll end up with about 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But we're going and it's Kaiso. We're singing on our
Scala make a better speech.
Ava Kaiso, you know.
You always have Kaiso. Yeah.
Make a better speech now for your promotion.
So my promotion is that I'm inviting all and sundry. I mean, I say I invite you first, and you don't think I hope this is not trend, but I'm inviting all and sundry to come down and come tomorrow night to the looks. And guys, when you're it will be case from start to finish. We have a real excellent cast. I mean, so a soft band. We have a special performance by Black Wizard, and we also paying tribute to 2 of our stalwarts who were there the last time Bards opened the doors. They were there and they are no more. That is Calypso and your partner Godfrey L. And Scorpion, and we'll be paying a special musical tribute to them. So we not joking, you know. I mean, you should see us, you know. We have some big people coming, you know. Yeah, I mean, you might be surprised, but the Prime Minister might pass through, you know. So
yeah, he has been legends and things. You know, I picture with him in legends, you know.
Well, exactly, and I'm passing in basketball and all kind of thing. I prefer an invitation, and if I know him well, we might see him sit down in the front, and it might be good for him, you know, to come, because I always remember Prime Minister and thing does come in when they win. They just come in one Calypso show.
First one.
They can't budge after that. Anyway, guys, well, we're looking forward to that. Actually, I'm looking forward to getting some Kaisos, you know. So.
And then, remember, well, we have to discuss it, Godfrey, but I also put up on the chat for next week. Nobody said
leave that in-house now.
But it would have been good if we could have splashed it tonight. But anyway.
Scholar, I agree with you. If they don't want to answer in private, let them answer in public.
But it's okay. We'll leave it in house. Because it seems as though you are 2 fellas from Tivoli of the. I'll put your head in one.
No, I say yes.
You that girl, what are you?
Alright, you say it.
You that girl, what are you? You not, let me tell you, on that, you're not a fella, you know.
That's that girl. St. John's still.
St. John's. Let me ask you a question. St. John's good match Tivoli Obia. Watch it, you know. We get up there. You tell you know. We drop it one beside Obia and you go here. Doctor, we could do that.
What we ask pretty Obia.
Doctor.
Lie is that time when they say go over the most Obia. They lie.
Doc.
It's only who.
Doc, tell her when we start to speak in tongues and she tell. She had to look out.
I got you want to put me in there.
Why we want to put you in? They just say we put you in one. I join you.
Why don't leave man alone?
I don't interfere with man.
You don't talk about that tonight.
No.
About that.
Well, I really thought you were going to bring it up to Scala.
Well, because I live so hard to find out from
that. You don't understand. You have to understand. Things that are being context. If the result was different, then you bring it up. If the result, right now is of no consequence, you don't make a difference. So that just we're stuck.
Your prediction was right. Yeah, 19-1 is your prediction was right. Anyway,
we have
Scholar most likely as usual, with or without invitation. I don't think I've ever missed an opening in bad cancer. So I don't understand what contribution you come in and make with me on we culture. You always see me there, you always see me in semi-finals. Godfrey doesn't come when you're ready, but I'm always there.
Well, that man, you don't see me. Well, that's his man, bye.
And you're right tomorrow to go to
the Godfrey could hide. Godfrey could hide.
I not to hide. But when you're in plain sight, people don't see you.
All right. Well, anyway,
guys, it's way past. Yeah.
A wonderful time. Sorry for those folks that looking. Well, they were looking for a lighter moment. Unfortunately, we had to get that one out of the way. So next week we hope we could be back on track and to have a lighter moment. But I hope you did at least still enjoy tonight's proceeding. And again, we'll see you hopefully next week Friday. Have a good one.
Yes, indeed. Yes. So, folks, thank you very much. That's all the time we have. Next Friday we'll be back.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. What kind of respect is that?
Well, I thought Doc had the last say.
And I don't get to talk?
Talk.
Okay, you thought I spoke for both of us?
We cannot take the Facebook comments. Is that it? We can't?
Time up. Next week.
Yeah, we make it up after. It's almost...
Okay, so I just want to wish Jada of First Choice a good evening, a great weekend, and her mother, Renita. That's her mother's name. Yes, I didn't want to forget that. And I want to also throw out to Scholar in particular. Scholar, do you know which school the youngest member of parliament in the Caribbean went to? Which secondary school?
Which secondary school?
Yes.
So why is that significant?
It is significant. Just answer. Jose don't know. So we need to let Jose know.
The Rose Modern Secondary?
High school, boy.
What are you? Anglican High School.
You know why?
Mason Francis, who predicted the elections. She was always sure because she said God answered that question already.
You know why?
Why?
We didn't take her in SAS.
We didn't take her in SAS?
Actually want to go.
Anyway. School. That's what she will tell you. But the Anglican High, always high standards. Yes.
All right. Well, guys, we're looking forward to seeing all of my bands tomorrow night. And of course, next week, Friday, we'll be back with another edition of We Culture. Guys, thank you very much. And Doc, you were saying about lighter moments, but I think tonight we had the highest number of live viewers.
Really?
I think so in the history of We Culture.
Well, I can understand why Doc feel that was not a light program. That was a light program?
Yeah, remember Doc is a philosopher, so
people reminisce and talk about the election and man say what they think. Remember, that is after the fact, that gun to man light.
Anyway, guys, have a good night. All the best. Take good care now. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
To do anything about you.
Kindly greasy pole, and we don't dance round the maypole. Raise it high up the ladder, let we set it on fire. A little more calypso, forget the funk.